Scientific Revolution, Part 2. Known as the greatest astronomer of her time, her astounding ability to observe the universe was not only cultivated in her work of charting celestial bodies, but also in her interpersonal communication skills, especially towards other girls. Kepler doesn't believe in astrology, but in the face of life and its needs, she made a living of astrology for many years. This work ended up earning her a considerable reputation among ladies of the aristocracy. However, many of the aristocrat gentlemen could care less about her. After she spent all that she had on astronomy equipment, it was discovered that some of her funding came from money which was meant to help the poor. This led to her nickname as Rotten Crook. Her hobby of writing science fiction novels is based on Kepler's imagination when observing the heavenly bodies as well as the royal lifestyle she had witnessed. What's interesting is that many of the things she wrote about that were deemed as fantasy at the time ended up becoming reality later on. Kepler is so popular with female members of the aristocracy that she often gets invitations for a walk or dinner. The astronomer usually rejects the latter since she believes that food and sustenance always gets in the way for astronomical pursuits. These upper-class ladies, however, regard Kepler's dinner rejections as part of her charming repertoire. Even at a time when she was doing nothing, Kepler would keep muttering to herself. This wasn't a habit of hers, but rather a result of her painstaking efforts. Her talking was more like a way of helping her to solidify the various memories that were running through her head. Newton. Knight of the Truth was not what the people called Isaac Newton. She bestowed that title on herself. Of course, as the leading physicist of her times, her discoveries opened an all-new era for the world, and she made significant achievements in astronomy and philosophy. She grew up in villages. Her curiosity compelled her to question many things that people take for granted. Many people found themselves unable to answer her questions. Her childlike looks and passionate questioning often made people think that she's some innocent heiress from somewhere. Despite her atrocious self-confidence, she would spend vast amounts of time to inspect and test her theories and formulas before releasing her dissertations on physics research. The irony is that as Newton rose in status, even her erroneous theories became regarded as fact. Newton enjoyed horse racing and often made jokes about that with her self-styled Knight of the Truth. Even Newton could not remember which came first, her title or her love for the races. Perhaps she shouted it out loud when riding horses in the villages. Newton would remove her monocle and wear a jockey's helmet to take part in the races. Her youthful features attracted many admirers. Newton would delve into supernatural forces to explain questions and phenomena that go beyond her scope of knowledge, and fantasize how these elements serve as hints to her role as the rescuer of the world. Planck. Planck was the youngest physics professor in the history of humanity for her outstanding contributions. P.S. She's also pretty skilled at playing pranks on other people. Despite her strange sense of humor, Planck was actually pretty good at dealing with people. If Edison is the person behind the curtain of Schick's North America branch, then Planck would be its facade and much-needed ambassador between the branch and HQ. Planck was also a virtuoso with the violin, piano, and organ. If Planck did not choose to pursue physics, the world may very well enjoy a great musician. Planck was also a good mentor and helped Schrödinger, literally a polar opposite to Planck, and Tesla, who was at odds with Edison, to realize their greatest potential. Planck also tutored Einstein for a while when the latter was 8. The two girls were very close friends. To Einstein, Planck was a great teacher and someone she aspired to be. This was probably the reason why Einstein could put up with Planck's terrible jokes.